Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Heartbeat of Bartlett podcast. This podcast is brought to you by the Bartlett Area Chamber of Commerce and is sponsored by First South Financial. And we're so excited to sponsor this podcast because the heartbeat of every community is its small businesses and the wonderful people that make up the heart of the community. So today we have some awesome guests, but before we introduce them, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Maria McLendon, and I am Chief Marketing Officer for First South Financial, and I'm joined today by two wonderful guests, Pierce Cannon and my wonderful friend, Debbie Gelineau, and this is her second appearance on the Heartbeat of Bartlett. So, Pierce, if you'll take a moment to introduce yourself,
Sure.
and then we'll get into our conversation.
Yeah, so my name is Pierce Cannon. I am the new Director of Membership and Community Development at the Bartlett Area Chamber of Commerce. I've lived in Bartlett my whole life, so I'm very excited to be here.
Excited to have you.
My name is Debbie Gelineau, and I have been a Bartlett resident for over 40 years, and I have worked for the city of Bartlett for almost 29 years, so I'm very vested in the city of Bartlett.
Well, and some of you may know who tuned into a previous podcast. Debbie and I are friends for many, many years, and we actually met through the Bartlett Chamber of Commerce, through the interaction of the Chamber of Commerce and the city of Bartlett. And today we're going to be talking about what it is like to grow up in Bartlett and what just a little slice of life from the Bartlett community. So, Pierce, why don't you kick us off? So you, the very first time I met you, one of the first things that you said is that you've been a Bartlett resident your whole life.
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit about your experience and what you enjoy about living in the city of Bartlett.
Sure. So I went to elementary school at Alturia Elementary, and then I moved on to Chatillon, and then I went to Bolton High School, which is where one of Debbie's sons graduated from. And then I went to the University of Memphis. Something that's cool is when I was about 13, my mother and I started a small business teaching swimming lessons in our backyard. So Mom had to get a small business license, and we used to teach about 150 kids a summer in about an 8-week period. So that's just a little bit of growing up here.
So you've been a small business owner since you were a child, then?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Debbie, tell us a little bit about your journey to Bartlett and what you've loved about being a part of the city. So you're not just a resident, you're such a big part of the city.
Well, I came to Bartlett in 1980, and both my children were born in Bartlett. They're both, now they're grown. One of my sons actually still lives in Bartlett, raising his 4 sons here, and they go to Bartlett schools. My other son lives in Galveston, Texas. They both, they went to Oak Elementary, Appling Middle School, and on to Bolton, because at that time the schools were Shelby County schools, and that was our district to go to. I love where I live. I think that's why I've lived in my house for 37 years almost, because it's right in the center of everything that's going on in Bartlett. I wouldn't live anywhere else. It's very affordable. It's where I live, it's very walkable to there's a lot of parks and green lines, and I think it's just a great place to raise your family.
So, there's so many different things that we can talk about when it comes to all of the wonderful amenities that the Bartlett community provides. But I want to talk a little bit, if you could, having such a long history in the community, Debbie, if you could take us back a little bit and talk about how the amenities have changed, or maybe even how they haven't changed a whole lot but have grown.
So when I first came to Bartlett, it was a very small town, which now I think we're growing, but we want to keep that small town atmosphere that we have. When I first came here, behind my house was a big empty field, and now there are houses, a performing arts center, a lake, a justice center, a middle school. So I watched all that be built, and my kids actually used to play in the dirt while they were building the lake. So that was interesting. So I've seen so much development when it comes to amenities that the city has. I was fortunate enough to go to work for the city of Bartlett when my youngest child was in 3rd grade, and I just love working for the city of Bartlett, and I just think it's a great place for people to come and raise their family.
Yeah.
And it has changed a lot, but it's a good change. It's a good change.
Yeah. So speaking of like a great place to raise your family, so Pierce, you were raised in Bartlett.
Yes.
And then are now raising your own family in Bartlett. Can you talk a little bit about why you decided to stay?
Yeah. So my wife Stephanie and I met at a local church here in Bartlett. We actually just celebrated 9 years of marriage last week. So that's pretty cool. And we've got 3 small children. We've got a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old. And they love our neighborhood. We love our neighborhood. You know, they're riding their bikes. We're throwing the football. We're having water slide parties and all kinds of fun stuff. All the things that I loved to do whenever I was a kid. So,
has the Bartlett Parks and Recreation Rec Rover been to your neighborhood yet?
The Rec Rover?
Yeah. You've got to tell them about the Rec Rover.
Tell me about the Rec Rover. I don't know about it.
So the Rec Rover is something new that Parks and Recreation is doing this summer.
Yeah.
So they're going to all the neighborhood parks, because in Bartlett we have a neighborhood park within walking distance of every subdivision. So they're going into the neighborhood parks and they're bringing out the inflatables and the games and things like that. And we also have the Rec Rover at Bartlett Live Music Series and at our Food Truck Friday series.
Sign us up. That sounds great.
What's the closest park to your neighborhood?
So the fire station at Memphis, Arlington, and 70. That park right there, if you know where that is.
I do know that park.
Yeah.
So I will tell them that they need to schedule one there.
Absolutely.
And for anybody who's interested in where the Rec Rover is going to be, you can actually just go to the City of Bartlett website, and the schedule is posted there as well. So, I mean, I think speaking about amenities and how the city has really grown to provide so many more amenities, I think it's amazing the investment that the city makes in providing resources for the community, whether that's recreation resources or educational resources or arts and culture resources. I think the city really keeps the community residents in mind when they're doing their master plan and developing what they're going to do for the future. So then my next question is, like, what are some of your favorite things about living in Bartlett?
I would just say, like our neighborhood is really family friendly. It's safe. Great restaurants nearby. We take advantage of all the parks, so we love the parks. Kids love the parks. So depending on the day, we'll go all over the place. Let's see. And our kids also go to Oak. So our second grader and our kindergartner also go to Oak. We love Oak. That's fantastic. But yeah, the parks are incredible. We love them. And the city is always really good about making sure they're up to date, that the equipment's looking good. And we appreciate that.
What about you, Debbie? What are some of your favorite things about living in this area?
Well, number one would have to be the safety.
Yeah.
Because you're not afraid to go out of your house. You're not afraid to go to the grocery store. It's just the safety. We have an awesome police department in the city of Bartlett. And a lot of people don't know that the city of Bartlett has their own police, their own fire, sanitation. We are a very equipped, one-stop shop kind of city. So we're very proud of that. And one thing that the city did with this new administration is they did a survey when Mayor Parsons came into office, and one thing that is lacking, a lot of said, is that age group, in your age group, that is that 35 to 45 kind of age group, and they wanted more activities in the city of Bartlett, more things to do, because they don't want to go downtown anymore. They don't want to go to Midtown anymore. So we started the Bartlett Live Music Series that is every other Saturday. We have Food Truck Friday, which is every other Friday. The Rec Rover, something that they brought in. So they're bringing more of this into our city so people don't have to leave the city to have all that enjoyment and entertainment.
So those programs, are those just through the summer, or are they going to go into the fall as well?
Well, the Bartlett Live and the food truck is just through the summer. We have 2 more Food Truck Fridays and I think 2 more Bartlett Lives. And then just stay tuned to our Facebook page and other things, because we do have something coming up in the fall, but we're not going to say.
Secret activities in
the
fall.
That's another podcast.
But we'd love to have you back. But an activity that's happening in the early fall that's not a secret is Bartlett Fall Festival.
That's right. How could we forget the festival? So the festival's October 4th and 5th. It's a huge event. We have added some new things to the festival this year. We're going to have Legends Never Die, which is a craft spit competition, is going to be there. And then also we have a new business that's coming up Bartlett called Ramble on Summer, that they are going to have a beer garden there and kind of showcase that restaurant and things like that. So we're excited about that, all the new stuff coming. We'll still have the barbecue contest. We'll still have the car show. some activities for the kids, lots of vendors, so you could come shop, play, and just have fun.
Excellent.
In a safe environment.
In a very safe environment, yes. Okay, so everything isn't always all roses, right? I mean, there are challenges to living in any community. So from your perspective, what are some of the challenges that you've experienced from living in Bartlett?
I would say the biggest challenge is we don't have any beaches here.
That is a big challenge.
You know, we go to Orange Beach every year to just get away, but you know, I think for the most part, the city does a great job of keeping its residents engaged, offering lots of events. I feel like they also do a great job with the roads. I mean, the roads are well paved. They're well taken care of. I know that's kind of a boring topic, but, you know, you go through certain neighborhoods and you're like, oh, I must be out of Bartlett. So, but yeah, I think Bartlett does a great job overall. So. Yeah.
So silver lining to Bartlett not having any beaches, the new Bartlett YMCA is undergoing some huge renovations, and I don't think they're going to actually build a beach, but
water adventure.
But they are creating the water adventure.
Yes.
So I mean, Bartlett takes care of all your needs.
That's right. That's right.
What about you, Debbie? What are some of the challenges that you think?
Well, as a homeowner there and as a resident, I think one of the big things is we really don't have the retail to go shop for women's clothes or men's upscale kind of shopping and things like that. So that's a big challenge. You have to go outside of the city limits to shop like that. On a city perspective, it's the sewers for the development. That's been a huge challenge for the city of Bartlett. Their sewer system.
Yeah,
so if we're going to put a call to action out to our viewers, Bartlett needs boutique retailers, and then you'll have built-in shoppers waiting to take advantage.
Let me jump in real quick. So we had a small business owner actually call the chamber this morning who owns a boutique, and she was interested in leasing some space at the Union Depot. So that's one of the things that the chamber does is kind of point people in the right direction, who to get plugged in with. And to also let folks know what the available space is so that we can get those good boutiques in there.
Well, let's take just a little pivot. It's not even much of a pivot. But so, Pierce, you are a new employee of the Bartlett Area Chamber of Commerce. So lifelong resident of the city of Bartlett, but new employee at the Bartlett Area Chamber of Commerce. And I think I must say this in absolutely every episode. I'm sure I do. I absolutely love the Bartlett Area Chamber of Commerce, and I know why I love it, but can you talk a little bit about why you joined the Chamber of Commerce and what your hopes are for the Chamber and its membership and events going forward?
Yeah, absolutely. The Chamber's been around since 1980, and just taking over in my position, one of the things that I do is I build relationships with our current membership, so current business owners that are around the area, letting them know, hey, we're still here. What do you need from us? How can we help you? How can we help your business? How can we promote you and use the chamber as means to do that? And then also community development as well. You know, we want to meet with our community leaders and just kind of keep that door open and make sure that everybody's on the same pages. As we all love Bartlett. We all want to see Bartlett grow and do well. I focus on membership, so existing members that are already involved in the chamber, and then seeking new membership. So if you are a business owner and you would like to get involved with the chamber, I'm the guy that you talk to. So feel free to reach out, and I'd love to help you out.
Make sure we'll put your contact information on the screen so everyone will know how to reach out to you. So I think we're actually getting close to the half-hour mark, which always happens super, super fast. So I've built some speed round questions for you guys.
Okay.
So starting with Debbie, what's your favorite memory from living in Bartlett?
My favorite memory? Well, as an employee, my favorite event and memory is when all the World War II veterans, well, we had a few of them alive, and they would come to the Veterans Day ceremony. That's kind of like a favorite memory that way. As a mom, I probably raising my children in Bartlett and watching them go to some great schools and things like that, and my grandsons being born.
Aw.
Go.
What about you, Pierce? What's your favorite memory?
Yeah, so my favorite memory is meeting my wife here So she was a transplant from Louisiana when Katrina hit, and so her family moved here, and then we just met later on in life. But we met here, so it's a special memory for me.
Very nice. What about restaurant? What's your favorite restaurant?
Mine?
Yeah.
It's a few.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with Pho 64. I love pho. If you've never been there, you gotta go.
What the fuck?
It's amazing, but also a couple others. Wally Hatchett's is great. Biscuits and Jams, and Side Porch Steakhouse. Those are just a few of our favorites.
What about you, Debbie?
Well, I'll go ahead and agree with you on some of those. But I guess Red Koi, because when I want sushi on Friday, sushi day, I have to go to Red Koi. That's my favorite sushi place. And I have to say Biscuits and Jam is great also. So those are kind of a couple of my
I have not been to Biscuits and Jams yet.
to make a difference.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing brunch there, so but I've also heard that it's really hard to get in on the weekends for a brunch seating.
I think we have it.
I feel like you maybe have some pull.
Monique? Hello.
I have to say that one of my favorite places in Bartlett is Side Porch Steakhouse. And we were lucky enough to have, we did a little podcast episode called Bartlett a la carte, The Taste of Bartlett. And they brought their croutons, which is like their table bread. And they're amazing. They're amazing.
Yeah, they're about this big.
Mm-hmm. They walked us through the whole story about them.
Like addicting.
Like they
are.
literally bake their rolls so that they can turn them into croutons the next day.
Yeah.
So back to our speed round.
Yeah.
What is your favorite community event or activity?
So my kids and wife love the fireworks that the city does on the 4th of July. They love it. So we can actually walk from our house not very far. We come in through that little exit through the back of the softball fields, and then we set up between the rec center and the softball fields, and we love it. So, yeah.
It's awesome. It's a good sweaty time.
Yes, it is. Very sweaty.
Sweaty day.
Very sweaty day, yeah.
Since I do most of those events, I guess, like I said, the Veterans Day is probably the most meaningful event I do. The 4th of July is always fun to do. I think everybody's amazed how the fireworks work, and they're all computerized and things like that. It's just, I guess, doing all the events, I haven't really got to enjoy them all yet. But we do some amazing events. We get a lot of positive about our fireworks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, one of my favorites is the Fall Festival.
Yeah.
I love it and plus, like, the weather is so nice by the time you get to the Fall Festival. But I also really love Bartlett Station Farmers Market.
Oh, yeah.
Which is awesome. I was gonna say one. Oh, and one of my new favorites is Food Truck Friday.
Oh, yeah.
I love Food Truck Friday. It's so fun. If you haven't been to Food Truck Friday, it's so great because you're always going to run into people that you know. You're always going to run into friends and neighbors and people from the community. It's just, but you never know who.
That's right.
But you're always going to run into people that you know. So what are you most looking forward to right now in terms of being a Bartlett resident?
Well, I would say the Union Depot is very exciting. We get calls all the time for people who are interested in bringing their business there. So very excited.
Describe what Union Depot is, because maybe people don't know what it is.
Yeah, so it's a development off of Highway 70. It is going to be retail space. It's also going to be residents there, so condos, lofts, apartments. So it's going to be awesome, and it should bring around, I think last numbers we got from Grant was going to be around 1,200 residents, which is really exciting.
And I mean, to Debbie's earlier point that when she moved here, Bartlett was just a very small town. Union Depot, which is like mixed use, it's a very very reminiscent of urban style living where you've got retail, office, residential, all in the same proximity, in walking distance of one another. It kind of is really significant in terms of growth and change and what it means for families to be able to come and live in this community.
Yeah.
We're very excited about Union Depot because once that's built and established, and it's the first mixed-use development in the city of Bartlett, the other retail that's going to the domino effect.
Yeah.
Of that. So we're very excited about that.
Is that what you're most looking forward to right now?
I'm kind of excited about this ramble on summer. So it's kind of going to be like the Rail Guard is. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a family type environment where they can come in Bartlett and just chill out and have a good time, listen to some live music, but it's going to be real like acoustic type music and stuff. So that's just a fun thing for Bartlett because we've never had anything like that before.
I am really looking forward to Ramble on Summer too. It seems to me like it's going to be the perfect place to go after work to like meet friends for like to grab something real, like grab a quick one before we all go home to our families. But I'm looking forward to that. And not that anybody asked, but I talk about how excited I am about the water adventure at the Bartlett YMCA. I'm very much looking forward to that water experience as well. Okay, so what are you most looking forward to long term? Like, what are you excited about for the future?
I think people are becoming more aware that Bartlett is a great place to live, and it's a great place to start a business or expand a business. So it's our job just to get the word out. We show a lot of space to give those business owners the opportunity to take a look at where they can come in. But I think Bartlett has a really bright future. And so I want to make sure that I am giving my time to our small business owners here who want to expand or open a different location or something like that, but also reaching new folks, that 35 to 45 age group. It would be exciting to have them come in too.
Yep.
So.
Debbie, what about you? What are you looking forward to long term?
Retirement. not for about 2.5 years, but just the growth in Bartlett, not just the residential growth, but the retail growth and the more things for people to do in Bartlett, in our hometown. So we're excited about that.
I'm looking forward to the chamber bringing back the gala.
Yes.
It's
coming back.
I will be the first in line to buy tickets.
Good.
Well, Pierce and Debbie, thank you both so much for being on the podcast, talking about your experience of growing up in Bartlett. Pierce, I know you've already shared some photos of your kids, which is super fun. Debbie, if you'll share some photos of your family growing up in Bartlett, we'd love to share those with our wonderful podcast viewers, and just appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thanks for having us.
Just one thing, if you're a Bartlett resident and you want to know what's going on, just go to our City of Bartlett Facebook page, our website, and get involved. Get involved in your government, get involved in your chamber, your school, wherever you are, because that's how you meet great people. That's how Maria and I met. So, you can build great friendships and know what's going on in the city.
It's so true. It's true of any community, but I think Bartlett is special and that you get what you put in.
Correct.
And if you put yourself and you put your heart into the different activities that are available and there's so many across the community, like you get so much out as well. And I know that we said thank you and goodbye and all that good stuff, but I do have one more question. Pierce, you said that you are a graduate of the University of Memphis.
Yes.
Do you know the fight song?
I do.
Will you sing it for us?
Sure. Go Tigers, go. Go on to victory, be a winner through and through. Hey, 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 fight, Tigers fight, 'cause we're going all the way. Fight, fight. For the blue and gray, come on, let's go, the Tigers go. Go on to victory, be a winner through and through. So right now, without a fear, right now, let's shout and cheer, fight for Memphis U.
Yay!
Go Tigers!
Yeah. Clearly, Bartlett Chamber needs a theme song, a fight song. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching The Heartbeat of Bartlett. This podcast would not be possible without the wonderful staff at V2 Media, so thank you, V2 Media. And this is brought to you by the Bartlett Area Chamber of Commerce and is sponsored by First South Financial, because we love the city of Bartlett and we love the Bartlett Area Chamber of Commerce. Thank you. See you. Bye. Bye.